faithful, you are not being punked. We are actually coming to you in prime time on the hottest show on the streets, number one forum for your Bama football news on a Monday. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have all of you guys checking us out on the show. We bring this to you from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. You know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button right now. If you haven't done so, do yourselves a favor, do your friends a favor, do the Alabama Nation a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Turn those likes up. Make this your show, your network platform, channel, and space to talk Bama football. We also got you covered on Facebook and Twitter as well, streaming to you the show. Be sure to turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football. We got a great one prepared for you guys tonight. As I mentioned, we're doing this in prime time. So I know normally the show is from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time, but we here at TDA, we like to see and give you, the fans, all types of options, right? Because there are moments where we think, what time is the fan base up the most and interacting the most and conversating the most? And for a lot of time, it's in prime time. Now, this will not be a permanent thing, but for about 2 weeks here, as we get you geared up and revved up for fall camp for your Crimson Tide coming soon here, we will be having this in prime time for 2 weeks here, giving you, the fans, something new, something different here in terms of TDA, where, in my own words, is concerned. But definitely want to hear from you, the Alabama football fan base, today. You could do this by calling 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. The daily super chat goes $75. Daily super chat goal, and you guys are already doing your thing. Jimmy Clay has dropped it here with an $88 donation in the chat, showing the honor and the support of John Metchie, former Alabama receiver, Alabama alum, who wears number 88 for the Houston Texans. Got drafted in this recent venue in the second round. Metchie announced on yesterday that he's been diagnosed with an acute form of leukemia. It is treatable, it is curable, but been diagnosed with an acute form of leukemia. So many people of the Bama Nation have reached out to Metchie in support for him, praying for him, whether it's been former teammates, coaches, just so many people in the Bama community showing that love there for Metchie, and people in the NFL community also showing that love for John Metchie, who was Alabama's leading receiver in terms of receptions last year with 96 for 1,142 yards and 8 touchdowns, and somebody that means a lot to this program. So definitely our thoughts, our prayers of strength to, Metchie as he's recovering here, getting that treatment at this time. But also, guys, shout out D. Pickett as Dancing Steven has returned. D. Pickett with that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate that from D. Pickett. And Jamie Wilhelm with $4.99 in the super chats as well, meeting that daily super chat goal of $75. Appreciate the love from every single last one of you, making this your platform to talk your Crimson Tide. But we're getting it out, John, the first topic here of conversation. And as we all know, before fall camp gets in here, during SEC media days and after that, you've got these organizations, these foundations that do their preseason award watch lists, and these continue here for the Crimson Tide, especially on defense. We know that Will Anderson is on the Maxwell award watch list, which goes to the top player in college football. But on today, two other venues announced their preseason watch list, that being the Jim Thorpe Award, which goes to the nation's top defensive back. That's presented by Paycom from the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. And then you got the Dick Butkus Award, which goes to the nation's top linebacker in the country. Both of those were announced today. And starting this off with the Jim Thorpe Award, how about Jordan Battle had his name announced there as a preseason candidate for the Thorpe honor? And I know when people look at defensive backs in the Saban era at Alabama, they look at, oh my gosh, Eddie Jackson was so special. Just how he played that safety position. Eddie turned your head. Eddie, you couldn't drink a beer. You couldn't go use the bathroom because you felt like if I missed something that Eddie Pick Six Jackson did, I'm going to hate myself because it's Eddie Pick Six Jackson, right? People felt the same way about Minkah Fitzpatrick. You could not leave the screen if Money Minkah did something because you felt like you were missing greatness if you did not see Minkah Fitzpatrick do something. The same thing with Landon Collins. Same thing with Mark Barron. Now, when you look at Jordan Battle, people kind of compare him to Ha-Ha Clinton Dix. In a sense of, Ha-Ha Clinton Dix wasn't flashy. He didn't make you turn your head. He didn't make you break your neck. But Clinton Dix was still a national champion. Clinton Dix was still an All-American, if you will. I believe that's correct. Clinton Dix was still, a guy that led the team in interceptions with 4 or 5 in that 2012 season. And Clinton Dix also carved out a nice little career in the NFL. So even though he probably wasn't one of the more flashy defensive backs of the Nick Saban era, Ha-Ha Clinton Dix still got the job done there. And that's what I think about when you look at Jordan Battle. Not the most flashiest DB in the world, of course not. But he still finished last season with 87 tackles, 4th on the team, 4 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, shared the team lead, 2 pick sixes. One of those came in the SEC championship against Georgia. And the young man is back as a veteran in this defensive secondary, handling all forms of communication. And the good thing here is, Alabama's had some guys that have won the Jim Thorpe Award in years past. You go back to 1993, Antonio Langham won the Jim Thorpe Award in 93. And then you go back to 2017, there's that name again, Money Minkah. Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jim Thorpe Award. So Jordan Battle could be the third guy for Bama and the second guy in the Nick Saban era to win the Thorpe honor. Now, there could be other names to make this list in the midseason when you discuss Kool-Aid McKinstry. He balls out. He can find himself on this list as a midseason ad. Tyree Jackson. He balls out. He can find his name on this list as a midseason ad. Same thing for Eli Ricks. Same thing for Brian Branch. Same thing for Malachi Moore. Same thing for even potentially DeMarco Hellams. Who knows? But right now, Jordan Battle starts off with his name on this list, with him being a potential first-round pick. We know he's got to come with it. He knows he's got to come with it, but he's on there for the Jim Thorpe Award as a preseason candidate. But what caught my attention, the Dick Butkus Award had 2 Bama guys listed as preseason candidates. Henry To'oTo'o and Jalen Mooney. Come on down. Both of these 2. Now, I get it. When people look at To'oTo'o, there's a mixed feeling, right? Some people go, he was supposed to have been the man last year. He came in from Tennessee, 2 years of experience under Jeremy Pruitt, who was once a defensive coordinator at Alabama, and all those terminologies, tendencies, word jargon, those types of things. To'oTo'o was supposed to come in and learning this thing, being the man from Jump Street, and he started the year struggling. Other people may go, give him some grace, cut him some slack. It was his first year at Bama, first year learning Coach Saban, first year learning the team, first year doing a lot of things. For me, he ended the year better than what he started, right? Ended the year better. Did finish with 113 tackles. Did finish with 8 tackles for loss. Did finish with between 4 to 5 sacks. This year, he's got to come with it. He's got to bring the thump. He's got to bring the boom. He's got to play ball. From start to finish, he's got to play ball. And this is starting off here in fall camp because Jim Nagy executive director for the recent Senior Bowl, 18-plus year NFL scout, really likes Henry To'o. I think there's potential there for Henry T to be a first-round pick, but he's got to come with it this season from start to finish as the captain there in the middle. And then for Jalen Moody, I like this. I like this from the Dick Butkus Award Foundation. Jalen Moody as a preseason candidate. Here's a young man that's waited his time. In a day and age where it's not popular to wait your time. If you're not doing the Destiny's Child thing, cater to me, I'm out of here. I'm packing my grip bag and I'm out of here. Especially with NIL and the transfer portal. I'm out of here. Jalen Moody, hey, I came in as a freshman in 2018 from South Carolina. Maybe my time was not immediate. Let me bulk up my body, get better in the film room, get better in the weight room, get all my classwork together, forge, build those relationships. And at some point, my time will come. We saw this with Mac Jones. Had to wait his time. His time came, single-season record guy, Heisman finalist, became a first-round pick. I mean, you look at guys like Brian Robinson, had to wait his time. Devontae Smith a little bit, had to wait his time. Jalen Moody's fit in the same category where it's taken him 5 years, but now here's the moment. When he's gotten on the field, he's made plays. He's made you turn your head and wonder, okay, who is that? 42? Okay, here's a number that I have to keep on my mind now. Here's a player that I have to highlight now. Because when he enters the game, good things happen. For Moody, this is his opportunity to take the full bull by the horns and run with it. He's got a chance to be a starter at that weak side backer position next to Henry T. This is Moody's shot. And the Dick Butkus Award has got him right here on this list. Now, I know some of y'all are thinking, you know, why is Will Anderson not here? Linebacker, Will Anderson getting snubbed? No. People look at Will Anderson as more of a defensive lineman, defensive end anyway. Now, if this was the Ted Hendricks Award, which goes to the nation's top defensive lineman, primarily defensive end, and Will Anderson was not on that watch list, then you can fire up your pitchforks and torches, go right ahead at the Ted Hendricks Award watch list. But we all know, you know, Anderson's not really viewed as a linebacker. He's viewed more so as a defensive end. So we'll keep our eyes on that Ted Hendricks Award watch list for where his name comes up. But the big thing about here, having these Bama defensive players on these preseason award watch list is much is expected from this Bama defense, and everybody knows it. Much is expected from this Nick Saban, Pete Golding defense, and they all know it. They know it. With the players coming back as experienced guys, with the talent being added, with having a defensive coordinator in his 5th year overall, but 4th year calling the defense, with having the majority of your defensive coaches back, and even with the 2 new hires that were made, Coleman Hutzler coaching outside linebackers, Travaris Robertson coaching cornerbacks, both of those 2 came in highly rated, came in highly respected by their peers in the SEC because they know this conference. So much is expected from this defense, especially since it's been some years since we saw the 2016 group just terrorize college football, and people are wondering, does Bama ever get back to that group? Does it ever get back at least close to what that group did? So, reason why a lot of these Bama defensive players on these preseason award watch lists, because they understand the expectation, they understand the pressure, they want the pressure, and trying to see, can this defense get close to what that 2016 group accomplished? But kudos to Jordan Battle being on the Thorpe Award watch list. Can he get it done? Kudos to Henry To'o, Jalen Moody being on the Butkus Award watch list. Can they get it done? Can one of those 2 bring that thing home? Going back to the Butkus Award, Bama's had quite a few names to win that. You talk about Derek Thomas, C.J. Mosley, Rolando McClain, Reuben Foster. Can Henry T., Jalen Moody become another name on there for Alabama? We take our first break here on the show. Folks, don't touch that dial, because when we get back, We go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your chats, your interactions. We got a conversation brewing with the Bama fans right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break in prime time, In My Own Words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Monday. Appreciate all of you. Before we go to the phone lines to grab your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang. We got more super chats. How about Mario Caldwell with that $10 donation in the bucket? There goes Dancing Steven doing his thing, whatever he's doing there. We got Mario Caldwell with that $10 donation. And then we got Jimmy Cashman Clay. How about this? With the Benjamin Franklin, that $100 donation in the super chats. Appreciate Mario Caldwell and Jimmy Clay. Also, remember, folks, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming live on the TDA YouTube channel, we got the Bama Standard. You want fun, you want laughs, you want Bama football, you want Bama legends, you want creativity. We got you. Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, with my guys Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, Bama legend and all SEC linebacker Marvin Constant, Bo Scarborough, two-time national championship running back, USFL champion with the Birmingham Stallions. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We got a special guest tomorrow also. Former offensive lineman Ari Kwanjo will be on the show. One half of the Kwanjo brothers will be on the show tomorrow. Guys, shout out D. Pickett with another $4.99 in the super chat. Showing love to the show. Everybody's donating. The people are going wild. The sirens are going wild. I still don't know why they made Dancing Stevens' khaki pants too tight there. But it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. We're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls here. 205-448-1358. Number to call in. 205-448-1358. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen M. Smith, it's your boy, Coach Smoot, man. How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. You got fall camp coming up here in a week or so. August is just about in here, and Coach Saban knows that a lot is expected from this defense. And this defense, they know a lot is expected from it, but I feel like this year they kind of want that pressure.
Man, Stephen, I keep telling people that I talk to, especially about Alabama, a defensive performance like we had last year, I guarantee you, people are talking about the things that happened on field. This is the first experienced defense we've had in some years, like across the board experience. People forget, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we had the injuries where Christian Harris and the other freshman got forced into the starting round. Yeah, and it was just like, people don't understand. We've been having the mature people, and there's been spots here and there where we've had mature individuals in certain spots that even Coach Saban said it. They weren't necessarily leaders. And we lost that aspect in those classes. But that 2020 class, it got forced to develop like that. You know, that 2020 defense, I don't think people remember how good that 2020 defense was. It was a crazy year, but that 2020 defense was snapping. towards the end of the season and to close out the year. So we look at what we have coming in. I'm talking about, Steven, the defensive line is just so full of potential. I'm not even going to say potential. It's unproven talent that I believe if they don't show up this year early, we'll see some young guys get their chances early. And I mean guys like DJ Dale, Justin Boybe. Like, if they don't show up early, all that talent behind them, Byron, Young coming back again, like all this talent behind y'all guys, y'all got to come in popping. There's no excuses this year. You're retaining the same coordinator. You got the same guys on the second level backing you up. Like, there is no reason to be a step behind this year. You guys have no excuse. Fourth and fifth year guys been in the system for 4 years now. Come on, guys. You guys have no excuse. And so I'm excited to see that. You know, I'm excited to see a confident, all right, we've seen this in the film room. Oh, this is a cue. This is a cue. Everybody giving the same signal at the same time, not just one person directing and people turning heads. I mean, everybody locked in. I remember the 2016 defense, the highest scoring defense in college football history or something like that. Was that 2016?
Yeah.
And I think they had the most non-offensive touchdowns, whatever. But that team, if you go back and watch the highlights, that team didn't do a lot of talking on the field. It was a lot of just, look, they see a motion and you see a hand signal go up, you know, it get passed through, and people was like, and we played a lot of man. I think we're going to be able to do that this year. And like I said in the comments, last thing before I get off, I said in the comments, I feel like Kool-Aid McKinstry might not get the starting nod for this reason right here, Steven. Saban always leans on experience over talent, which is sometimes it's a fault. It beats us to a fault. But I believe at the corner position, you can't beat experience. And we saw that last year. As horrible as Joe played, when guys had to step in, Kyrie and Kool-Aid, we've seen where an experienced corner wouldn't have made that certain mistake. You know, Joe got beat on a lot of one-on-one stuff. Anytime he had single coverage, we knew he was getting beat. You know, but when it came to assignment football, Joe was on point. We got to give him that. He was a very smart corner dealing with the injuries, but that experience was very big for him in retaining his status as a starter. And you look at guys like Kyrie and Eli, they got the snaps, and, you know, it's not athletic plays being made. They really have the experience. Kyrie on the JUCO level excelled at a very high level. That's why Saban went to the JUCO level to get him. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to see that side of the defense. And like I said, the experience is going to get Kyrie and Eli the nod. Hopefully, Branch can get his way in that star or even that strong safety. Branch got to be out there to start, Steven. Just give me your thoughts on the starting D. Anyways, that's what I was going to say. Who do you feel like is going to be that solid starting group for us this year, Steven? And I'm out. Appreciate you taking my call, man.
Absolutely. And that was our own Coach Smoot's 200th call in my own words. So the 200th call anniversary there for my man Coach Smoot, Senator Hines. Appreciate all of the support and all the insight he brings to the show. My starting defensive secondary, that's tough there. I'm going to go with Jordan Battle, DeMarco Hellams, my two safeties, even though I would much rather see DeMarco Hellams in that dime row. Brian Branch will be the nickel, sharing that with Malachi Moore. The two corners, I like Eli and Kyrie. I really do. I like Eli and Kyrie as the corners. However, Kool-Aid's improved in terms of the speed, and he's worked tirelessly all offseason with two different guys. Whether it's been Justin Woodall, former Alabama safety, he's been putting in work with Kool-Aid, and Leonard Stevens from Step by Step Performance Training out of Birmingham, who's putting in work with Kool-Aid. So whichever one of the three corners does not earn the starting spot, they're going to get starters reps anyway. But I do like the combination of Ricks, or the duo of Ricks and Kyrie Jacks. It's just Kyrie's length of 6'3". I just like that length there of 6'3", just being honest with you, Pod. We take this phone call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Michael from Columbia, South Carolina. How you doing, man?
Michael, doing great, and yourself?
I'm doing good. I have two questions about Alabama, for Alabama.
Go ahead.
So first, starting with the offense, who do you believe is going to be the starting wide receivers? I know that we got Ja'Cory Brooks and Jermaine Burton, and the transfer Tyler Harrell. Well, who do you believe will be starting at the wide receiver for this season?
It'll be a rotation. You'll have 3 to 4 guys, several guys in the mix, but I think the starters, I think Jermaine Burton will trot out there. I think Tyler Harrell, the speed and separation he creates, you got to have him out there. And I think the third guy, keep your eyes on Christian Leary. I thought Christian Leary this spring really showed up and showed out. He's always been a speed guy, but for the first time I saw, he's got the body of a receiver now. The routes are there now. The ability to stack on top of a defensive back and separate is there now. So I would have Christian Leary as that third guy. And I think Trayshawn Holden will be worked some way in there. But a freshman to keep your eyes on, especially if this speed is for real, keep your eyes on Isaiah Bond. He's got some unreal speed.
And my second question is, how do you believe the defense will play? We've lost guys like Josh Jobe and guys like Christian Harris, guys like Christopher Allen, and now we got guys like Henry To'oTo'o, Dallas Turner, and Jalen Moody kind of filling that role. How do you believe that the defense will play this season?
Defense should be excellent. Should be excellent. I think for the defense, it comes down, Michael, to the defensive line. Can Bama get one or multiple guys that refuse to be blocked? Can it have those unblockable guys? Because we saw in the past, whether it was Marcel Darius, Terrence Cody, Deron Payne, Quentin Williams, recently here Christian Barmore, Bama's always had that one guy or multiple guys, you could not block them. You couldn't get your hands on them. So if Bama's defensive line has those guys up front, this defense is going to be excellent. Should be. Appreciate my man Michael there from that call out of South Carolina. We grabbed this call. Hear you live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mario from Houston.
Mario, what's going on, man?
Hey, love the show. Love hearing the comments from the guys too, like Coach Flex Smoot. So I'm excited, about the defense and what they're going to do. I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
My first question, how when you have a loss and everybody circle the game on the calendar, I think with the offensive line, they didn't do too well last year. They didn't do too well in the Crimson White game. And I think people really, they've been hearing a lot of talk about how they're going to be. I think they're going to step up. I think they're going to really show what they can do. How do you feel about that?
I like this offensive line, Mario. I really like the hire of Eric Wolford. I've said this before. I didn't think Doug Marrone was a fit. Not saying that Marrone's a bad coach, but I've always said you can be a fit, just not necessarily a fit at Alabama. Takes a special coach, whether it's a position coach, what have you, to fit in Tuscaloosa. And when I look at Eric Wolford, has an SEC footprint, South Carolina, Kentucky, highly respected, well-respected, can recruit extremely well, can coach extremely well. When you take a Kentucky offensive line and they're a finalist for the Joe Moore Award, pretty big deal there. And he was doing that with lower recruited guys. Now he's at Alabama with 4- and 5-star guys, tough, hard-nosed coach. The guys have already kind of bought into everything he's been instilling into them. I think this offensive line is going to be better than some give it credit for. Appreciate Mario there for that call. My man calling out of Houston right there. We grabbed this call. Hear you live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, it's Kyle from Georgia. How we doing?
Doing great, Al, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just wondering, when are you going to make some shirts, the Touchdown Alabama Magazine polo shirts that you wear, and put them on tdawear.com? I'd like to have one of them. And the second question is, if you do make the shirts and put them on the website and I get one,
Now,
would you sign it at this year's A&M game on October the 8th?
Let's see here. Now, I don't know who makes the shirts, but you can get the shirts on tdawear.com, Kyle. They're right there. That's tdawear.com. You can get the shirts. Now, hey, if you meet me on October 8th, I'll sign a shirt for you.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I'm ready. The Aggies is fixing to get gigged. How about that? Roll Tide.
Appreciate Kyle. They're calling in from Georgia to the show. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. Touchdown, Alabama Magazine. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Jimmy Clay is on fire, y'all. 19 more dollars coming in from him to the Super Chats. Showing love here on the show. The sirens are going. Dancing Stephen is being Dancing Stephen as always, but appreciate all of you guys showing that support here to the show. We go to a quick topic. That quick topic is on one. John Metchie III, former Alabama wide receiver, Crimson Tide alum, 2020 national champion, led the team in receptions last year with 96, 1,142 yards, 8 touchdowns. Just a hard-working man. Good young man, quality young man, quality person, coming over from Canada, and got drafted in the second round of this recent venue, fulfilling a dream that he's always had. Got picked up by the Houston Texans, and on yesterday, got some news that hurt the Bama Nation, as Metchie announced himself that diagnosed with leukemia, and it's one that is curable, which that's the relief, that's the silver lining, that's the good news, curable, but diagnosed with leukemia nonetheless, and will not be able to play his rookie season with the Texans because he's going to be focused on his health and getting his body in order and getting all of that in line. So the Bama Nation's been praying for Metchie, been pulling for Metchie, continuing to pull for Metchie. Strong young man, vibrant young man, resilient young man. He's been through a lot of challenges in his life, been through some tough moments in his life, but Metchie has always found a way to smile and bounce through it and bounce back from it. And I think this is another situation where he's going to smile and he's going to pull and bounce back from it. So definitely our thoughts and prayers here at TDA with one Jonathan Metchie. I think he's going to be okay. I believe he is going to be okay. So really, chin up and thumbs up here for Metchie. But we're going to go to another break here on the show and touch that down, because when we return, we get into the update of breaking down players that have updated jerseys. They dropped photos from the team photo shoot, and I'm just going to pick out some guys that from the photo shoot that this year it's a big year for them. They got to put it down this year. And we'll talk about those guys after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We blazing up. We back in here from the break on the hottest show on the streets, talking your Crimson Tide football. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Fall camp coming soon here for the Crimson Tide. Now, going back to those polo shirts there for TDA wear, those shirts are not on the site right now. Hopefully, they will be back soon. They will get back soon, just not on the site right now. But you can still go to tdawear.com where you can get your hoodies, where you can get your joggers, where you can get all types of gear preparing you for the 2022 season taking place here in the fall. But we get back into the conversation, second topic of discussion here, and this is on, the team had a team photo shoot here recently, and several players released their photos, released pictures here on social media, whether it was Twitter or Instagram, of them in their jerseys. And we're going to pull a few of these players because a few of these, they got something to prove this season. They got to put it down this season. They got a big chip on their shoulder this season. And a couple of these guys, they got potential first-round draft status or high-round draft status on their mind in terms of the NFL. So first things first, DeMarco Hellams. DeMarco Hellams is back for his final season as a senior for the Crimson Tide, or as a junior for the Crimson Tide, junior or senior for the Crimson Tide. He's an upperclassman, came in that 2019 class from the D.C. area. And, for Hellams at 6'1", 208 pounds, for me, I always felt like he's kind of played out of position. To me, he's more of a dime linebacker. He plays close to the box. He loves to lower the boom and hit people. Kind of a heat-seeking missile type of guy, which is why I'd rather have him as a dime linebacker. But last season, he did show some signs, a couple of signs, of being a pretty good free safety. Pretty good safety. He did have 2 or 3 interceptions last year. He did have 88 total tackles, which finished him third on the team behind Henry To'o, the leader, and Will Anderson, number 2. So DeMarco Hellams has value. The young man is looked at as, to me, I would have him right now, early second-round guy, early to mid-second-round guy. Could work himself into a first-round guy if he's able to put up just ridiculous numbers. And he's got potential to do that, playing sound football. But, for him, this is a year to maximize his value, maximize his draft stock, and show people that she can be a consistent, strong cover guy. Because we know him as a hitter. We know him as a thumper. We don't quite know Marco as just a strong, elite coverage defensive back. That's what he's got to prove this season. So that's one is DeMarco Hellams. As we roll down number 2, we got Kyrie Jackson here. So for Kyrie Jackson, who's sticking with number 6, his second year at Bama after coming in last year as a JUCO transfer. Here's a guy that has experience playing in college football, has experience as a defensive back coming from the JUCO ranks. Last year, he got worked in 12 games, 7 tackles, 2 pass breakups. Yes, people go back to, but Stetson Bennett threw the ball to A.D. Mitchell, and A.D. Mitchell caught it for a touchdown in the national championship game on Kyrie Jackson. Look, Kyrie had perfect coverage on A.D. Mitchell. He was in the man's hip pocket. Stetson Bennett just threw a perfect ball. And sometimes there's just no defense for a perfect throw. However, the experience Kyrie got in JUCO, the experience Kyrie got last season at Alabama, going to really help him this year. The reason why I say this, I go back to Jackson's length. He's 6'3". Bama's never had a 6'3" starting corner before. Got a chance to have that in Jackson here. Big length, big size, been working all season with Coach Bowl, defensive back specialist, DB Sensei out of Maryland. This is Kyrie Jackson's moment to show not just his draft stock, but his moment to prove he's a lockdown, shut down, frustrating corner that could take away a whole side of the field. Alabama has not had that since Patrick Surtain. But can Kyrie Jackson be that type of guy? Trying to show that this season. Moving down from Kyrie Jackson, we look at Malachi Moore. This is a big season for Malachi. We remember him as a freshman. Came into that fall camp, making headway, earned a starting job at nickel, and just blew up, right? Malachi, 3 interceptions, led the team. Fumble return for a touchdown. 44 tackles. Freshman All-SEC. Second team All-SEC. Freshman All-American. Like, people were talking high on Malachi. They should have been. Then last year, unfortunately, went through some injuries. Had a tough go medically. I was told by one of his trainers, Justin Woodall, former Bama safety, that Malachi had the stress fracture in the back there. He also went through some shin splints. Tough on him, was rough on him. But back now, fully healthy, 100%, first time since the beginning of his freshman year at Alabama. So now he's got a chance to recapture what he had that freshman year, reintroduce himself as that bad man that the fans, you guys, know him to be from his freshman season. This is a big year for Malachi here. Moving on down from him, you got Jamil Burrow for 98. This is a big year for him. Why? Fall camp coming up soon here. Even though DJ Dale has the experience, Jamil Burrows has more of the freakish, athletic ability to create those big ooh-wee plays that y'all want to see from a nose tackle, defensive tackle perspective. No offense to DJ Dale whatsoever. Great young man. But Jamil Burrows gives you more, he gives you more opportunities at that production from a nose tackle perspective, affecting the quarterback. And he had a really good spring game going back to April. This is Jamil Burrows' chance in fall camp to pass up a DJ Dale and possibly be a starter. Big year for Burrows here. He'll be the next guy. As we move on down here, in this list, you got Jalen Milroe, who is now wearing number 4. We've seen the video of his offseason of him power cleaning 335 pounds like it's paperweight. No big deal. The brothers from Texas boys built differently. We saw that with Jalen Hurts. With Jalen Milroe, question being, Bill O'Brien, Nick Saban, how often is he on the field in games and it's not mop-up duty? We know what Bryce Young is. Reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Got a chance to win back-to-back Heismans. Got a chance to win a national championship as a starting quarterback. But you as Alabama fans, what's the one thing y'all think about? What's the future like, right? What's that next year going to look like? That next wave going to be? Jalen Milroe represents future, next year, next wave. You got to get him on the field and see this arm along with the athletic ability. Got to get him on the field, see the accuracy, see the precision, see the timing, the arm talent, along with the athleticism. Big year for Jalen Milroe to show he can orchestrate the entire offense if given the opportunity to do so, not just in mop-up duty. Last but not least here, we look at one freshman pulling out Isaiah Bond. Fall camp, keep your eyes on this kid. You've been watching this kid through summer workouts, but keep your eyes on this kid in fall camp. If there's one freshman receiver not named Aaron Anderson that could really shake some stuff up, this dude, Isaiah Bond. Unreal speed coming over from Buford High School in Georgia. This guy won 100-meter, 200-meter state in track. Guy can flat out burn and fly. This may be the fastest player in terms of freshmen that Coach Saban has ever recruited. And remember, he's wearing number 17. Remember the last 17 that Alabama brought in as a summer enrollee, Jalen Waddle, human joystick, saw what he did. Isaiah Bond, number 17, in here, summer enrollee, Keep your eyes on him fall camp. This could be interesting. As he can fight his way in for time at receiver. He can fight his way in for time on special teams and return game. The guy can do a lot of stuff. But those are just some guys that I highlighted there. Several players dropped their numbers in the team interview, team photo shoot there on social media. Just wanted to highlight some guys, and I felt like this is a big year for those particular guys. But we're going to go to another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, people, because when we get back, we return to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Light the phone lines up. We want to hear from you after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full-year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're rocking and rolling, zipline and back in here from the break on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets. Covering your Crimson Tide, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Glad we can have you in here in prime time. We'll be doing this, shooting the show in prime time for the next for 2 weeks here. Just getting you something different as the Alabama football fan base, as fall camp is working its way in here. But before we grab your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Got to shout out D. Pickett again with that $4.99 in the super chat, showing love here on the show. Appreciate the man D. Pickett dancing. Stephen is doing his thing there. And we got to shout out Aaron McGuire with that $5 donation. The super chats, Aaron McGuire helping us out right here on the show. Appreciate D. Pickett and Aaron McGuire. But 205-448-1358, number to call in to let your voice be heard. 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you guys. As you're getting your thoughts in here, getting myself tongue-tied right now. John, I thought about this, John. I really thought about this. So many people look at Alabama and Nick Saban as the problem in college football. You know, Alabama, they're ruining college football. Nick Saban, he's ruining college football. Nick Saban needs to retire. When is he going to retire? When is he going to go? He's ruining college football. I want to take your eyeballs to this right here. I want to say this. Challenges keep Nick Saban younger. There is 70 years old. There's Nick Saban 70 years old. There is an old, decrepit, memory loss. You're going toward the end 70. And then you have the Nick Saban 70, which is young, vibrant, sharp, hungry, intense, innovative, as energetic as I've ever seen this man. I've been covering this man for quite some time here. challenges keep Nick Saban younger. As the game evolves, as the game grows, as nuances get thrown in, it's keeping Saban around longer. It's like he's aging in reverse. He gets better as he gets older. Crazy, right? I mean, he gets better as he gets older. And he's like, bring the challenges on. Keep feeding me. Keep feeding the bees. Keep feeding me. Bring the challenges on. And I remember when Saban first got for Tuscaloosa. What was the challenge? It's going to take you 6 years to win your first national championship. Okay, cool. I win my first one in 3 years. And the challenge was, hey, you're not going to be able to recruit at a high level. You're at Alabama where you're coming off sanctions and probations and coaches that didn't pan out after Paul Bear Bryant and Gene Stallings. Coach Saban, cool. I'll bring in an outstanding class in 2008, and then from there, stockpile number one classes like T.I. used to stockpile guns. He was able to master that challenge. Then it was, okay, Saban, you're going to lose coaches every year, and you're not going to be able to replenish the roster. Nick Saban says, okay, I will take coaches from the NFL and win. And then it goes, well, okay, Saban, now your next challenge. You're going to lose top-tier talent to the NFL every year. There's no way on God's green earth you can get that back. Saban's been able to master that. And the challenge was, okay, Nick Saban, we'll switch the recruiting period on you. We'll break the recruiting period in two, where you have the early signing period and the traditional signing period. Well, he's mastered that also. And they go, cool, Coach Saban, here's the transfer portal. You'll lose players. Yes, but then he takes your best player and creams you with it. And now here's NIL. And Saban just recently said at SEC Media Days that Alabama athletes have made a little bit over $3 million in NIL. And it's only going to get more than that. I remember people were saying, man, these older coaches are going to be retiring early because of NIL. Remember when Clemson's Dabo Swinney said, if players get paid, I'm going to quit coaching. Oh, yeah, Dabo said that. Remember when Mac Brown in North Carolina was about to flip his wig? Players were getting paid, NIL. And everybody thought, man, this is going to railroad Nick Saban. Saban's finding ways to adjust to it, people. I mean, players getting, north of $3 million on NIL. And now Bama has just landed a major partnership for more NIL with this company, which I'll get to that in a minute. But I'll just say this. Challenges keep Saban young. The game keeps Saban young with all of this nuance being thrown in there. It's like Saban's trying to crack the Da Vinci Code. With each new piece being thrown in, Saban's just trying to crack it. That's what he's doing. He's just trying to crack it. He refuses to leave the game, allowing something to dominate him. Which is why I feel like NIL is the challenge he needs to wrap up this run of championships, how many it's going to be. This is what he needed right here. And here's another opportunity for Coach Saban to say, okay, NIL, bring it on. I've battled through all this other stuff. NIL, hey, bring it on. Gotta shout out Jimmy Clay again with that 5904 in the super chat, showing love right here at the show. Jimmy the Badman Clay, appreciate him and all that he does. But the topic here goes to Fanatics. The site Fanatics has partnered up with Alabama NIL deal, and what this is Alabama will have a store called The Authentic inside Bryant-Denny. You can get authentic clothes, authentic gear, authentic everything. Alabama partnering up with Fanatics to have the store, The Authentic, inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. That is really cool. Tobias Brookins, my man from Fresno, has dropped a 20-piece, a $20 donation. The super chats, appreciate my man Tobias, showing love, everybody making this their show, network, platform, and channel to talk Bama. Before we take a break, got to remind you one more time, on tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming live on the TDA YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard. You want fun, you want entertainment, you want excitement, you want laughs, you want Bama football with Bama legends. You check out the Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming on TDA's YouTube channel. We got Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker and Bama legend Marvin Constant, Bo Scarborough, two-time national champion at Bama, USFL champion with the Birmingham Stallions. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, and our special guest, former Alabama offensive lineman Ari Kwanjo, one half of the Kwanjo brothers, will be joining us live on tomorrow. But we'll take a final break here, folks. On Touch That Dad. When we get back, fall camp approaching soon. I dive into the top positions. They got to go all out hard, being dominant in fall camp. We'll set that up after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian or Jameer.
Well, people are back scorching hot from the break on the hottest show on the streets. Talking your Bama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And now, people like to look at me as a celebrity. I'm no celebrity. But the celebrity here is the man, Jimmy Clay, with another $100 donation in the Super Chats. And for all that JC does for this show, I mean, he's a TDA Heisman for a reason. This guy donates like nobody's business. This guy throws in the money because he loves this show and what we do, what we provide here. And you all love this show also. Gotta show some love here, Jimmy Clay. Appreciate all that you do, my man, and making this your show, your network, your stop shop for talking Crimson Tide football. Love the man, Jimmy Clay. We got your jersey right here, your Heisman jersey right here, showing that on screen of the man, Jimmy Clay. But as always, folks, you got to check out TDAwear.com. Get yourself started right now by getting you your gear, whether it's for fall camp coming up, whether it's for the 2022 Alabama football season. TDAwear.com. Get you that gear. Link is in the description. We got all of your swag, assaults, drip, clothing, cultural, fashion needs right here to support your Crimson Tide. Show that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDA by getting you that gear. But again, in our final topic of conversation, and that's, fall camp's coming, y'all. First week of August is usually where it cranks up. Coach Saban has that, Knicks kids function, and then you get into fall camp. And hopefully John will be back out there again. We haven't been back out there getting consistent coverage since, the COVID pandemic started back in 2020. But hopefully they'll have us back out there again. I want to be out there center stage. But fall camp coming soon for Coach Saban and the Tide. And this is a program that's trying to get back to the college football playoff, finish the job, winning a national championship, which would be the program's 19th in its history. It would be Coach Saban's 8th overall, 7th at the University of Alabama. But for me, there are a few positions, but I feel like these positions, they got to go hard in fall camp. They got to be dominant in fall camp. And they got to give us as consumers of Alabama football the confidence that, okay, they ready. They ready. They going to do it big. They ready and they ready to go. So the positions are as follows on screen here. I got to dominate in fall camp. Offensive line. Offensive line's got to dominate fall camp. Left tackle and right tackle. Defensive line. Defensive line got to come with it in fall camp. From defensive end to the other defensive end. Wide receivers, an unproven group, talented, very talented, but an unproven group. These guys have got to come with it here in fall camp. And the cornerbacks. The cornerback room got to come with it. Got to be able to shut down these receivers, frustrate them, reroute them, take away one side of the field. So offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, and cornerbacks, the positions that got to come with it here in fall camp pretty soon here. Starting this thing off with the offensive line, there was a reason Eric Wolford was brought in here. There's a reason why. He was brought in here to get this offensive line back to Joe Moore Award standard. People looked at that 2020 offensive line with Dickerson and Leatherwood and Neal and Cornbread Brown, coached by Kyle Flood, and we were like, oh, man, that's a great offensive line. Mac Jones ain't getting hit. He ain't getting sacked. Najee Harris is going crazy. Mac Jones, I think, was sacked only, 13 times that entire year? 13? Yeah. 2020 offensive line was nuts. And people look at this group and they say, can this group get back or get close to what that group was? And I think with Eric Wolford, it can. Sound technician, really good coach, really outstanding recruiter, guys have bought in, has a footprint in the SEC and is well respected. And when you have guys like Seth McLaughlin back, tough as nails at center, you got J.C. Latham, who's going to get that chance to start at right tackle. You got Tyler Steen, transfer from Vanderbilt, which people are banking on, start at left tackle. Your two guards, Javion Cohan and Emil Ekiyor Jr. This is an offensive line that people are saying it should not give up 39 sacks to Bryce Young this year. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. With Eric Wolford in here, a much better fit than Doug Marrone, that should not happen. The offensive line got to come with it here in fall camp. That's number one. Two here, this defensive line. And it all starts with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach played here from the state of Alabama, played at the University of Alabama as a linebacker, has coached the University of Alabama before, came back 2019, if I'm not mistaken, is entering another year as the D-line coach. It all starts with him. He's got to pop out some ferocious men up front, collapse in the pocket, stacking quarterbacks, stopping the run. Got to have that this season. And whether it's one guy that blossoms and just says, you're not going to block me, I refuse to be blocked, I'm taking your head off, you a piece of me, I'm a pit bull, I'm coming at you. Either one guy doing it, or you got to pop out multiple guys, two or more, that can do it. The point being, defensive line got to play up to that full potential. Because knowing what Alabama has an outside linebacker, knowing what they've got at inside linebacker, and what they got in the secondary, defensive line got to pop out with some dudes, some monsters. this season. Starts off here in fall camp. Moving on to this next one here, the wide receiver room. And Holman Wiggins has done a phenomenal job with these wide receivers since he got here in 2019. But he's got kind of an unproven group this year. Yes, you got 2 transfers. Jermaine Burton from Georgia, Tyler Harrell from Louisville. But you got some guys that have been here a while. Trayshawn Holden's been here a while. Christian Leary's been here a minute. JoJo Earl's been here a minute. You got some guys that have been here a minute. I mean, you got some hot shot freshmen. Aaron Anderson, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond. You've got some freshmen in here. So for Holman Wiggins, it's for these receivers, building that connection quickly with Bryce Young all throughout fall camp. Seeing the guys that when Bryce Young gets them that football, they're going to make plays. Another guy who's been here a minute, Ja'Cory Brooks. Getting those guys the ball that are going to make plays and that are going to consistently make plays. Jermaine Burton made plays all throughout spring. Tyler Harrell, coming from Louisville, averaged 29.1 yards per catch. Christian Leary, saw him in the spring game, very much so improved. JoJo Earl in the spring game looks improved. Ja'Cory Brooks last year, big touchdown catch against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, big touchdown catch against Cincinnati in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Trayshawn Holden had some good moments last year, but it's an unproven group, but it's a wealth of talent. This wealth of talent's got to pop. Got to have several guys pop here, and this wealth of talent, we'll see that. Fall camp's got to happen. So last but not least here, cornerbacks, corners. Safeties, you're good. Jordan Battles played a lot of football. Came back to improve his leadership, improve his communication, and up his draft stock. DeMarco Hellams has played a lot of football. Came back to improve his leadership, improve his communication, and up his draft stock. Safeties have played a lot of ball. Brian Branch is back. Went on a tear last year at the star position. Malachi Moore, despite the injuries last season, has played a lot of football. Cornerback position. Can you get 2 corners that can run with receivers, they've got recovery speed, and that can take away a side of the field? Bama's got 3 guys. 4 guys if you count Terrion Arnold. But you got Kyrie Jackson, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry, you got Eli Ricks. Whoever is not the starter of those 3 is going to get starter reps anyway. But for these Alabama corners, got to be able to not have fear. Play the ball, not have fear. It's a big thing. Travaris Robinson, tremendous addition in the offseason, being hired as cornerbacks coach. And he's already doing a fantastic job. And I think that's going to continue in fall camp, because if you noticed, Coach Saban is actually taking a small step back in terms of corners. Taking a small step back. And he's allowing Robinson to coach this group. Why? Once again, Travaris Robinson, footprint in the SEC. He's played in the SEC, was a DB at Auburn, coached at Auburn, coached at South Carolina, coached at Florida. Footprint in the SEC. Travaris Robinson. So this cornerback room here, can it get guys playing with no fear, taking away a whole side of the field? That's going to be big there in fall camp. So those are my positions right there. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, corners. What will we see in fall camp? That's going to be fun right there. Folks, as always, you want the best in news, notes, information, material, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. Now, you download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. Now, for your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio, got you covered there. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description. Also, if you're trying to get your hands on the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description too. One more time for the roll, Jimmy the Batman Clay with the $27 donation in the hat. Appreciate Jimmy Clay and all of you making this your show, your network platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Guys, shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio doing his thing behind the scenes, and you, the outstanding fans of Bama football, appreciate what you do. And until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. Be sure to get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself, you protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I am your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.